All right, diving right in today. You're here for Ayub Sheikh's insights, right? Specifically, how to apply his expertise when you're recruiting for, let's say, a top-tier SAP project manager.
Exactly.
We've got you covered. Ayub Sheikh, 24 years at Holistica Consulting. He really gets what makes a great tech recruiter, especially in a field as complex as this.
Yeah, no kidding.
So consider this a crash course. We'll be breaking down everything, what the role really entails, the tools these project managers live and breathe, the absolute must-have skills.
Right.
And we'll even dig into some seriously insightful interview questions that'll help you separate the pros from well, you know.
Yeah, the folks who just have a nicely formatted resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first, we've got to paint a clear picture, right? What does an SAP project manager actually do? Because Ayub Sheikh is super clear on this. It's a blend, strategic thinking, A&D killer communication skills. It's bigger than just knowing the ins and outs of SAP, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's about leadership and on a big scale. Think about it, SAP projects. They're not just, oh, let's install some software. It's like re-architecting how a whole company works.
Oh, wow.
Multiple teams, and I mean multiple, all with their own lingo, their own to-do list, plus stakeholders who may not even understand the tech side at all. A great SAP project manager, they gotta be able to strategize that whole rollout.
I bet.
Anticipate the bumps in the road, and then communicate it crystal clear to everyone. They're like the conductor, leading an orchestra, keeping everybody in sync.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
And conductors need their instruments, right? Which in this case are the tools that Ayub Sheikh mentions. Oh man, there's a symphony of them. SAP Solution Manager.
Of course.
Microsoft Project, JIRA, Asana, even Slack and Zoom.
You need it all.
It seems like a lot, but like each one's got to have a specific role in this whole complex project, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's like each tool, it's a piece of the puzzle. Yeah. Like I've actually seen projects completely derail because they weren't using something powerful enough to track everything. Something like JRA, for example. So when you're talking to potential candidates, they've got to get how those tools fit into the bigger picture of managing these projects.
Right. So let's say you're in that interview. What are some key things that a recruiter needs to understand about how these tools are used?
You hit the nail on the head. It's about understanding, not just checking boxes. So, for example, SAP Solution Manager, that's your command center, right? Designed for these implementations, top to bottom, documentation, monitoring the whole 9 yards. But then you have your workhorses, Microsoft Project, JRA.
Oh, yes, classic.
All about scheduling, making sure tasks are on track, resources used right. And in today's world, you can't forget collaboration.
Right.
Slack, Zoom, keeping those lines open, especially when you've got folks all over the place.
Teams, yeah.
Exactly. So look for candidates who get it. You know, it's not just, oh, I can use that software. It's, I know how this fits into the strategy.
Makes total sense. So we've covered what the role is, the tools. Now let's talk about the person. What skills, absolutely must-haves, are we looking for in an SAP project manager?
You got it.
Ayub Sheikh, he points out a few biggies. Project management certification.
Yeah.
Deep, and I mean deep. As SAP expertise.
Gotta have it.
Leadership qualities.
Huge.
And of course, communication skills that can get everyone on board. Now, as recruiters, you know, we're always on the lookout for those little hints, the signs of real potential. What are some things you look for in an interview? How do you really spot that potential?
You're right. It's about seeing past what's printed on the resume, you know? So yeah, a certification like PMP or Prince 2, it's a good starting point. Shows they've got the basics down.
All right, the framework.
Exactly. But I want to hear about how they've applied it. So I'll ask, tell me about a project that really tested you. How'd you use those principles to navigate the rough waters? What'd you learn? Same with the SAP expertise. Don't just list off modules. Tell me about an implementation, the nitty-gritty. What was tough? How'd you handle it? What were the results?
I like that.
Leadership and communication, those are all about how they bring people together, how they deal with conflict, how they get everyone excited about the project's vision.
Absolutely.
Can they explain their approach clearly with solid examples? Those are the signs that tell me they're not just saying the right words, they're actually doing the work.
Love that. So we've got all this knowledge, let's put it to use. Ayub Sheikh, he gives us 3 great sample interview questions designed to get those deeper answers.
Yeah.
1, how they handled the tough SAP project.
Yeah.
2, how they roll with the punches when the scope changes, because that happens.
Over
Right?
time.
And 3, the tools they use, but like really how they use them.
Right.
When you're listening to answers, what makes someone really stand out?
It's all about listening for those moments, those little nuggets that show you how they think, how much experience they've got. So when they talk about a challenging project, I'm not just listening for the problem itself. It's about the steps they took to fix it, and even more importantly, what they took away from it.
Interesting.
It shows they can problem solve and they're always learning. Then, that scope change question, that's critical.
Oh, yeah.
Because in SAP projects, things are always changing. Can they adapt? Manage expectations? Keep things moving forward?
Yeah.
That adaptability, that's gold. And finally, when they talk tools, I want to hear that they understand how each one contributes to the project's success. It's not just, I can use this. It's, I know how this makes us more efficient, how it helps us collaborate better.
That's brilliant. So as we wrap things up, what would you say is the most important takeaway from Ayub Sheikh, especially for our listeners out there who are, focused on finding those A players, the best talent?
Ayub Sheikh, he's got this powerful message. Don't just focus on the tech skills. Yeah, SAP knowledge, it's essential, but it's not everything.
Right.
The things that set people apart, that make them truly great, it's leadership, it's communication, and it's that ability to adapt.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are the qualities that let a project manager navigate the craziness that can be an SAP implementation and actually deliver something amazing.
Right, get results.
If you keep that in mind as a recruiter, you're going to build a seriously high-performing team.
So true. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights. Our